Chosen ones, the 7 hidden spiritual gifts God reveals only to his called ones. Something in your spirit has been stirring for a long time. You've walked through seasons where the world around you felt too small for what was growing inside your soul. Even before you had language for it, you sensed a pull, a whisper, a holy tension that refused to let you settle for an ordinary life. And now, here you are, drawn to a message that is not calling everyone, only those heaven has marked. The Bible says, in Jeremiah 1:5, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." That means your longing for something deeper is not random. It is remembrance. The chosen ones do not awaken because life becomes comfortable. They awaken because God begins to uncover what he hid within them long before they were born. Maybe you've walked through storms that should have broken you, yet something kept you standing. Maybe you've carried wisdom no one taught you, felt protection no one explained, survived battles no one knew you were fighting. These are not coincidences. These are fingerprints of a divine identity. Today you will learn the 7 spiritual gifts that God places only in those he sets apart. As you hear each one, your spirit will recognize itself, because when the chosen awaken, they don't just discover the truth, they remember it. And once you remember who you are, nothing in your life stays the same. Part 1. The gift of deep spiritual intuition. There is a knowing that does not come from study, experience, or logic. It rises from a place so deep within you that even you cannot explain how you know what you know. This is the gift of spiritual intuition, the first sign that someone has been touched by the hand of God and set apart for a greater purpose. For the chosen ones, intuition is not a passing feeling. It is a quiet voice that refuses to be ignored, a voice that appears in moments when everything around you seems unclear. Others may rely on what they can see, but you have always felt guided by something far more precise. Isaiah 30:21 says, "Your ears shall hear a word behind you saying, 'This is the way, walk therein.'" That is not poetry. That is reality for those God has called. You have walked into rooms and instantly sensed the atmosphere. You have met people and felt their spirit before they ever spoke. You have stepped toward opportunities that made no sense to your mind but made perfect sense to your soul. And somehow, every time you followed that pull, things aligned. Doors opened, problems unraveled, protection appeared. This intuition is not imagination. It is connection. It is the Holy Spirit whispering direction into a heart that is sensitive enough to listen. That sensitivity is often misunderstood. People may have called you dramatic, too emotional, too reactive. But the truth is, your spirit perceives what others overlook. You catch the shift in someone's tone. You sense the hidden motive behind a smile. You feel the warning before the danger even forms. This gift showed itself early in your life. As a child, you sensed when someone was unsafe, or when a moment carried weight beyond the natural. You noticed the change in the atmosphere before adults understood what was happening. You felt God pulling you, even when you didn't know his name yet. Over the years, this intuition became sharper, wiser, louder in the ways that matter. And when you ignore it, you feel it immediately. Something inside you becomes unsettled, as if heaven itself is tugging your spirit back into alignment. The chosen ones cannot walk against intuition for long. You were not designed to live blind. You were designed to live guided. This gift deepens through struggle. In moments when everything around you collapses, intuition becomes the compass that keeps you from drowning. It tells you to move when others freeze. It tells you to rest when others panic. It tells you to trust when your circumstances scream the opposite. And when you obey, your path clears in ways that reveal the hand of God moving long before you arrived. Dreams often carry messages for you, not random images, but instructions, warnings, confirmations. You wake up knowing something was spoken to your spirit, even if your mind cannot grasp every detail. And throughout the day, the pieces begin to align. That is the mark of someone who walks between the visible and the invisible. With time, intuition becomes more than guidance. It becomes identity. You stop apologizing for what you feel. You stop doubting what God reveals. You stop needing others to validate your direction, because you recognize the voice that leads you. Those who are led by the Spirit of God are the children of God. Romans 8:14. And when you walk with Him, intuition becomes the language of your destiny. This gift is not accidental. It is one of the clearest signs that your life is not normal. You are being guided, shaped, and positioned for something far greater than you have seen. And the more you honor this inner voice, the louder heaven speaks. Part 2. The gift of healing, empathy, and compassion. There are people who understand pain, and then there are people who feel pain that isn't even theirs. If this has been your experience, you are not weak, overly sensitive, or dramatic. You are carrying a gift that heaven gives only to a select few. It is the gift of healing empathy, a heart wired to reflect the compassion of Jesus. This gift makes you feel the weight in a room. The moment you walk in, without anyone speaking, you sense who is hurting, who is hiding something, who is pretending to be strong but is breaking on the inside. You have looked into someone's eyes and felt their story before they ever shared it. That sensitivity is not natural. It is spiritual. Psalm 34:18 says, "The Lord is close to the broken-hearted." Those who carry His presence feel that nearness. You do not simply notice pain, you absorb it. You sit with people in silence, and somehow that silence becomes healing for them. You speak a few simple words, and they break open in relief, as if their soul finally found a safe place to breathe. Many chosen ones do not realize how powerful this gift is. You comfort without trying. You heal without knowing. People confide in you though they barely know you. Strangers sense something gentle, something steady, something that makes their burdens feel lighter. Children gravitate toward you. Animals calm around you. It is the atmosphere you carry. But this gift has a cost. Because you feel deeply, you are also wounded deeply. You have wept over the pain of others. You have walked away from conversations feeling drained, heavy, tired without knowing why. You have absorbed emotions that were never yours. And sometimes, you struggle to understand why your heart feels so heavy when life seems fine. This is the burden of a healer. God gave you a heart large enough to hold others, but you must also learn to protect it. Empathy is a gift, but without boundaries, it becomes exhaustion. Many chosen ones go through seasons of isolation, not because they dislike people, but because they need time to release what their spirit has absorbed. Silence becomes medicine. Nature becomes therapy. Prayer becomes oxygen. Your compassion is not random. It is preparation. God places healers where brokenness is greatest. He allows you to feel what others hide so that you can minister to wounds that words cannot reach. You have given hope to people who were on the edge. You have restored peace to hearts that forgot what peace felt like. You have been a bridge between despair and clarity. The chosen ones rarely see themselves as healers, yet that is what they are. Their kindness carries weight. Their presence stabilizes. Their words carry life. And the more they surrender this gift to God, the more powerful it becomes. Jesus healed with compassion. He touched the untouchable, embraced the rejected, sat with the hurting. When you carry this gift, you carry His heart. That is why your chest aches when someone is suffering. That is why you cannot ignore injustice. That is why you forgive more than you should. That is why you love even when it costs you. Your empathy is not a flaw. It is proof that heaven trusts you with its tenderness. God places this gift only inside the souls He knows will not harden, even after being hurt by others. And though it may feel heavy at times, this gift will open doors for you. It will draw people whose lives will be forever changed by the light you carry. You are not just sensitive. You are chosen to heal. Part 3. The gift of divine communication. There are moments in your life when clarity appeared out of nowhere. You were confused 1 minute. Then suddenly something within you settled as if a light had been switched on inside your spirit. This is not coincidence. This is the gift of divine communication, a sacred connection between your soul and the voice of God. Jesus said in John 10:27, "My sheep hear my voice." Not everyone hears it, not everyone recognizes it, but the chosen ones do. Even before you fully understood faith, something in you recognized the gentle pull, the inner whisper, the sudden knowing that did not come from your mind, but from a deeper place. Some call it instinct, but you know better. It is guidance. This gift shows up in different forms. Sometimes it is a quiet impression that speaks louder than any sound around you. Sometimes it is a verse that leaps off the page and pierces your heart with precision. Sometimes it is a dream that refuses to fade, a dream so heavy with meaning that you wake up knowing God was speaking. And sometimes it is simply a deep peace that settles over you when you choose a certain path, confirming that heaven is aligning your steps. There are moments when God speaks through circumstances, closing doors, delaying plans, redirecting your path in ways you only understand later. Other times, He speaks through people. Someone says exactly what your spirit needed, even though they had no idea why. But the most intimate moments are when He speaks directly into your heart, without noise, without explanation, just truth. Those with this gift often feel drawn into silence. You crave moments alone, not because you are avoiding the world, but because your spirit is listening. God speaks most clearly when distractions fade. In the quiet, He corrects, comforts, warns, reveals, and strengthens. And when you choose to obey what you sense, your entire life begins to move in divine rhythm. This gift often becomes strongest in seasons of pain. When your heart breaks, your spirit becomes open in ways it wasn't before, and you hear God in the cracks, in the darkness, in the questions. He speaks in ways that reshape your perspective, turning suffering into wisdom and confusion into direction. Many chosen ones say their most painful moments were also the moments when God's voice was unmistakable. Divine communication is not only for you, it is also for others. There are times when words come out of your mouth that you didn't plan, yet they hit exactly the wound someone was hiding. There are moments when your advice feels strangely beyond your years or experience. People walk away from conversations with you feeling lighter, clearer, strengthened. You didn't preach, you didn't try, but heaven used your voice, because the chosen ones are not just hearers, they are messengers. They carry revelation in their spirit. They speak truth without forcing it. They comfort without rehearsing it. Their voice carries weight because it carries presence. And when someone with this gift speaks, the atmosphere shifts. But this gift carries responsibility. When God reveals, you must listen. When He warns, you must obey. When He nudges, you must respond. Ignoring His voice becomes almost impossible because your spirit feels the consequence immediately. The chosen ones cannot walk far in the wrong direction without feeling the pull of God's correction. This gift is evidence that heaven is not far. God is not silent. He is near enough to whisper, and your spirit is awake enough to hear. And when you live guided by that voice, your steps become purposeful, your journey becomes protected, and your life becomes a testimony of what happens when a person truly walks with God. Part 4. The gift of spiritual sight and clarity. Some people see the world as it appears, but the chosen ones see the world as it truly is. This gift of spiritual sight is not about predicting the future or performing miracles. It is about perceiving the hidden layers of reality that others overlook. It is a deeper vision, one that allows you to sense truth even when everything around you tries to disguise it. Joel 2:28 says that God pours out visions and dreams on His people, and those who are chosen feel this deeply. You have moments when your spirit catches something before your eyes do. You sense dishonesty even when someone's words sound perfect. You feel danger before it manifests. You recognize blessings before they appear. This inner sight is heaven's warning system, protecting you from traps and guiding you into purpose. This gift often expresses itself through dreams. Not ordinary dreams, but vivid ones that linger, that carry weight, that seem more real than the room you wake up in. They may show people, places, symbols, or scenes that your spirit instantly understands. You wake up knowing God was revealing something, preparing you or confirming what your heart already discerned. Sometimes this gift appears in flashes of understanding, a sudden realization, a moment of clarity that breaks confusion like light breaking darkness. You look at a situation and see the spiritual pattern behind it. You notice cycles that others repeat, cycles they cannot see. You recognize spiritual warfare when it is disguised as stress, conflict, or coincidence. You discern people's true intentions, even when their behavior is polished. This gift can feel heavy at times. Seeing beneath the surface means you also see what is broken, what is false, what is spiritually unhealthy. You may perceive darkness. Others walk into blindly. You may sense betrayal before it happens. You may feel the grief beneath someone's smile. This depth can be lonely because few people understand what you see, and fewer are ready to hear it. But God trusted you with this gift for a reason. You are a watchman in the spirit. You notice danger early. You recognize opportunity early. You see the enemy's schemes before they fully unfold. And this sight allows you to walk wisely, avoid traps, and protect those around you. This clarity is not a burden. It is protection. It is purpose. It is evidence that your spirit lives awake in a world that prefers to sleep. Over time, spiritual sight matures. What once felt like strange intuition becomes unmistakable revelation. You grow confident in what you perceive. You trust what God shows you. You stop doubting your discernment. And as this gift strengthens, you begin to understand that you were chosen not just to see, but to guide others who cannot. Part 5. The gift of purpose and sacred mission. Chosen ones struggle with normalcy because they were never designed for it. There has always been a divine restlessness inside you, a quiet ache, a feeling that life must mean more than routine, survival, or applause. This is the gift of sacred mission, the inner knowing that your existence carries divine purpose. Ephesians 2:10 says you were created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand. That means your calling was written long before your birth. Even in childhood, there were hints. A sensitivity to injustice, a desire to help, a hunger for truth, a sense that you were different even if you couldn't explain why. The world may have tried to mold you, but something in you resisted, because your soul knew it did not belong to a small life. This gift reveals itself through dissatisfaction. You can succeed, achieve, fit in, and still feel something missing. You watch others settle, but you cannot. You feel the pull of something greater, something deeper, something eternal. And the more you ignore it, the louder it becomes. God does not allow his chosen ones to become comfortable in places where they do not belong. Your mission is often shaped by pain. God uses broken seasons to forge spiritual strength. He uses rejection to redirect your path. He uses delays to sharpen your discernment. He uses loss to deepen your compassion. Every wound, every detour, every disappointment has been preparing you for a calling that requires emotional depth, spiritual insight, and supernatural endurance. There have been moments when you felt unexplainable courage rising inside you, moments when you stepped out even without certainty, moments when you acted boldly, even while afraid. That is the mark of someone being guided by purpose rather than comfort. The chosen ones move differently because their spirit responds to divine timing. This gift becomes clearer as you grow. You begin to notice that your interests, your strengths, your experiences, and even your struggles align in a pattern that points toward a specific purpose. You begin to recognize that nothing in your story has been wasted. You start seeing how your life can become a vessel that carries healing, truth, encouragement, leadership, or awakening to others. And when your mission fully awakens, you feel it like fire. You feel it in your chest, in your thoughts, in your prayers. It becomes impossible to ignore. You realize that the reason you never fit in is because you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to shine, to influence, to build, to carry light into places where darkness has taken hold. This gift is not a title or position. It is a calling from heaven. And when a chosen one steps into their mission, the atmosphere around them changes. Lives shift, hearts awaken, chains break. Because God does not send ordinary souls to carry extraordinary assignments. He sends those He has marked, prepared, and set apart. You are one of them. Part 6. The gift of protection and holy resilience. There is a pattern in the lives of the chosen ones that cannot be explained by luck or coincidence. You have walked through situations that should have broken you, moments that should have ended your story, seasons that should have left you without hope. Yet here you are, still standing, still fighting, still rising. This is the gift of divine protection and holy resilience, a shield that surrounds those God has called. Psalm 91 speaks of a refuge, a hidden covering, a supernatural shelter. The chosen ones experience this long before they understand it. You have survived things others never knew you faced. You have been delivered from dangers you didn't even see. You have been pulled out of emotional pits that should have swallowed you whole. Someone has always been lifting you when life tried to push you down. Many chosen ones can look back on their lives and see moments that make no sense, except for God's intervention. The car that almost hit you, the relationship that fell apart just in time, the job you didn't get because it would have destroyed you, the betrayal that revealed what you needed to walk away from. Protection is not always pleasant, but it is always purposeful. This gift also appears in your resilience. You break, but you don't stay broken. You cry, but you don't collapse. You bend, but you do not snap. You feel the weight of life deeply, yet somehow you rise again every time. That strength does not come from personality. It comes from a calling. God strengthens those He sends into hard places. He fortifies the ones He assigns to dark environments so they can be carriers of light. Your resilience is spiritual muscle. Each trial, each disappointment, each setback has built a layer of strength inside you. While others crumble under pressure, you endure. While others lose themselves, you find depth. While others stay wounded, you seek healing. This is because the chosen ones are shaped in fire. You are not fragile. You are forged. Often your protection comes through intuition. You feel when a place is unsafe. You sense when a person is not trustworthy. You recognize when your spirit is restless. That is God steering you away from harm. The world interprets this as paranoia. Heaven calls it discernment. Even in spiritual battles, you are guarded. Attacks may come, but they do not prevail. You may feel shaken, but you are not destroyed. Every attempt to crush your spirit eventually becomes a testimony of your endurance. The enemy does not waste effort on those who do not threaten him. The intensity of your struggles is evidence of your calling. And when the chosen ones rise, they rise stronger, wiser, and more spiritually awake than ever before. That is the miracle of this gift. You don't just survive, you transform. Part 7. The gift of divine alignment and spiritual return. There is a truth that the chosen ones experience more intensely than anyone else. What you send into the world returns to you quickly and powerfully. This is the gift of divine alignment, the spiritual law of return operating with unusual precision in the lives of those God has set apart. Galatians 6:7 says, "For whatever a man sows, that he will also reap." While this applies to everyone, the chosen feel it more immediately. When you act in kindness, blessings seem to appear out of nowhere. When you help others, help finds you in unexpected ways. But when you step out of alignment, even slightly, your spirit feels the consequence. You cannot walk in darkness without feeling the shift instantly. This sensitivity is not punishment. It is guidance. God keeps His chosen close, correcting their steps with gentle but unmistakable precision. You may notice that when you speak harshly, you feel it linger in your chest. When you ignore your intuition, something goes wrong. When you drift from your purpose, life loses its flow. That discomfort is a spiritual compass pulling you back to where you belong. You have probably seen how quickly your thoughts manifest. When you dwell in fear, fear multiplies. When you speak life, life multiplies. When you trust God, doors open. When you doubt, everything feels heavier. Your spirit is connected so deeply to the divine that your internal world shapes your external world with unusual speed. This gift teaches responsibility. The chosen cannot live casually. Every word, every intention, every action carries weight. You were not created to live unconsciously. You were created to live with purpose, awareness, and truth. God aligns your path according to your obedience. And when you walk in integrity, everything around you begins to reflect His favor. This understanding also brings peace. You do not need to seek revenge. You do not need to fight battles that are not yours. You do not need to carry bitterness or chase justice. The universe responds to every seed you plant, and God ensures that everything returns in divine timing. What is meant for you cannot be taken. What is not meant for you cannot stay. If you have noticed that your life reacts quickly to your choices, this gift is active within you. It is a sign that you walk under heaven's governance, not the world's. You are being shaped into someone who lives aligned with spiritual truth. Someone who sows light even when surrounded by darkness. Someone who understands that destiny is built moment by moment. This gift is not just a law, it is a reminder. You are connected to heaven. Your life is watched, guided, corrected, and aligned. The chosen ones do not wander, they are led, and every step they take echoes in eternity. A final awakening. If something inside you was stirred as you heard these 7 gifts, understand this clearly. It is not random. It is recognition. Your spirit is remembering what God placed within you long before you ever understood the weight of your own existence. You were formed with intention, marked with purpose, shaped by trials, guided by an unseen hand, and pulled again and again toward a destiny the world could never explain. You are not ordinary. You never have been. There were moments when you felt out of place. Moments when you questioned why you sensed things others didn't. Moments when you wondered why your heart felt so deeply, why your journey felt so heavy, why your intuition screamed when everyone else was silent. Now you know. These were the fingerprints of your calling. 1 Peter 2:9 says you are a chosen people, set apart to declare the praises of the one who called you out of darkness. That is not poetry. That is identity. The gifts inside you are not accidents or personality traits. They are spiritual tools placed in you for a mission heaven entrusted you to carry. As you step forward from this moment, walk with a new awareness. Honor your intuition. Guard your empathy. Listen for God's voice. Trust your spiritual sight. Pursue your purpose with boldness. Lean into the protection that follows you. Live in alignment with the truth you now understand. The world needs what you carry, even if it does not recognize it yet. Romans 8:19 says creation waits with eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed. That means the world is waiting for you to awaken, to rise, to take your place in the story God has written. You carry light. You carry wisdom. You carry gifts that transform lives. And now that you have remembered who you are, there is no turning back.